Hi, I'm Lori Pursiful. I got married when I was 27 years old and drank socially with my husband, not real often, but we did drink socially and had friends over, and it wasn't a problem at all. Several years later, the drinking for me became a lot more often. I started drinking a lot more often, a lot more frequently, and I started noticing that I was having liver problems. Still maintaining my job, but things were getting a little rougher. I was waking up hungover every morning, still going to work, but not really doing my job very well. Going to my children's sporting events and games, but I always felt I needed that little edge of a drink to get by while I was there. My life felt like it was falling apart. My husband and I were not getting along. We were fighting all the time, and I didn't want to be in the marriage. I just didn't want to be a responsible adult. Things just progressively got worse and worse. And I agreed, because people were getting on my back all the time, I agreed that I would go to a 30-day treatment center. And I went in there knowing that I was not going to quit drinking. It had gotten to the point where my kids didn't want to have anything to do with me. They wouldn't accept my phone calls. I had lost custody of them. They wanted nothing to do with me. They were ashamed and embarrassed. And when I go to their games or sporting events, they wouldn't look at me, they wouldn't speak to me. In a matter of about 12 months, I had 3 OVIs, I had totaled 3 cars, spent several nights in jail. My marriage had ended, I lost custody of my kids, and I had no relationship with them. I had lost my job for showing up intoxicated at work. I had contemplated suicide on 3 occasions. My world was just falling apart, and I had hit rock bottom. So I would go down to the hospital in Cincinnati. I had an appointment to try to get on a waiting list for a liver transplant. The day I went down there to check out what I needed to do for the testing, they rushed me right to the emergency room and said, "You need to come in now." And they didn't think I was going to live through the night. They told my parents several times throughout my stay that I was going to die, that there was no hope, that I was not going to live. But by a miracle, by God's grace, just a liver became available that night. They rushed me into surgery, and I got a new liver the next morning. So Mother's Day of 2013, it was a tradition every year of Mother's Day to go to a luncheon with my mother ever since I was a little girl. And when my daughter was born, she also went with us from the time she was a little girl. And this particular year, May of 2013, she said she would not go with me due to everything that had been going on in my life and how I had messed up and just totally been a failure. She told me she wasn't going to go with me, and that devastated me. I was just so upset and distraught that I decided I was going to go out and drink that night, and I did. And after I did, I was like wondering, what in the world did I do? And I knew that night that that was the last time I was going to drink. I had God in my life, but I hadn't really surrendered and asked Him to just remove the obsession and just take the obsession away and just come into my life. And the surrender part, be totally honest and surrender to God. And I made a conscious decision that Mother's Day that I was not going to drink. And it was all God. It was God that got me to that point. and I started going to my AA meetings. I started attending church every week and getting involved, and it's changed my life. Today, my life is better than it's ever been. I have a great relationship with my kids. We are a family once again. I'm in a new relationship, and I'm to be married in 3 weeks. And this Mother's Day 2015, my daughter was at the Mother's Day luncheon with me yesterday, and today my kids are in church with me at Medway Church, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for us next.